was a big decision. It was live on talkSPORT as well. You can have your say on this with VAR, because I think it is becoming a bit of a mockery, that decision. If you haven't seen it, you know, you and Gabs, we had this discussion.
Yeah.
You think it's actually a penalty, and I can't believe you think it's a penalty because...
Only because he's running at that speed.
Yeah, but he's running at speed, and he's put his Agger's put his foot out, and he's gone over, but he's dived. He's thinking the contact's coming. He's already on his...
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
He's already on his way down. But Agger pulls his foot back, and then, his hand touches his waist. But that's not enough. It's not enough to give a penalty. I think the referees give the penalty because he thinks there's contact. And then it goes to Stockley Park. They should look at it and go, no, there's not enough contact there for... for that to be given. And it just asks the question. We've been speaking to people, and we've got people who want to have their say on this, and I just think it's a joke. It's killing the game.
I just think that, we're speaking about it in the break. I think that ex-football players should be in VAR, because I think 99% of decisions, ex-pros will get the right decision.
You say that, me and you have just disagreed on one.
Yeah, but most of the time you're going to agree on the same decision. You play the game, you know about fouls and where players are being clever. Some of these referees, Jamie, they haven't got a clue. It's coming to VAR.
How have they not got a clue?
It's coming to VAR,
it's
coming to VAR, and they're in the VAR studio, probably looking at each other like, "What do you think, Rich? I don't know, Dave. What do you think, Dave? I don't know. John, what do you think, John? I don't know. Just give it." Like, they haven't got a clue, mate. But you get 3 ex-players in there, I guarantee you most times they're going to get the right decision.
What about football bias, though? Players,
happens with refs, though. Refs obviously
but it's different if you played for a team.
Well, you'll know then.
Like, say you're doing a game in VAR, Birmingham have a massive decision.
Yeah, but you can work out the games.
No, I'm not sure about that one.
I wouldn't do maybe a Birmingham City game. You wouldn't do an Arsenal game, or maybe a Chelsea game. You stick to games in the north, maybe. There's ways around it, isn't there? There's certain refs now that can't referee certain games because of who they support.
Yeah.
So I just think it's the right decision to make, because these are going to cost teams big. It could be the last game of the season where someone needs to stay up, and the decision goes against them.
Yeah.
Sends them down.
Yeah, it costs some 100 million quid. Let's go to Michael. He's a West Ham fan. All right, Mike?
Good evening, Mike.
Good evening.
You all right, pal?
Good evening.
Yeah. Look, what did you make? What did you make of that decision today? I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it was. I think it's shocking.
Yeah. Well, I was at the West Ham game on Wednesday as well, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm beginning now to think: is there corruption in our game? Because I know no one ever says it. Everyone's trying to say it. But if all these decisions are going so many times to the big clubs, you get a 50-50 if it's Man City, it's a goal,
I know, but it can't be corruption at Crystal Palace v West Ham game, can there? Do you know what I mean, Mike? Be careful with, I understand your frustrations. I get it. I understand it, but I just think they ain't got a clue. They can't make the right decision, and they're scared to overrule things.
Michael.
Yeah, but you're saying they haven't got a clue. It's like if you're driving along a road and it says you have to turn left, you turn left because you know what you're doing. So these referees, ex-referees, they do know what they're doing. So why are they making the big mistakes? Think about it.
I don't think they do, though, sometimes. You look at some of the easy VAR decisions that they get wrong, they can't understand the game.
I mean, West Ham have had 2 absolute shockers. I mean, the one against Liverpool was scary. The Liverpool one, I mean...
Yeah, well, we've had go back even further, the Chelsea game this year, when Cornette scored, that was disallowed.
With the keeper.
There's 3 games. Yeah.
With Mendy,
The Liverpool one was like, there wasn't even no one in there, Jamie, the VAR room. Like, they'd all gone for a break. I probably missed it.
Well, I've heard two theories on that. I've heard it never went to VAR.
No, it did. We watched the game. It went to VAR. Yeah.
Oh, right, you got me there.
Mike, look, I've got to ask you, as a West Ham fan, you got 34 points. You still worried?
Yeah. Although, I'll tell you what, I mean, we're going to get hammered against City on Wednesday. I think you'll put a very weak team out.
You'll probably beat United, though. Knowing West Ham, you'll beat Man United at home.
I've got a funny feeling we'll nick something there.
Yeah.
And I reckon even 35 points could be enough. Because I still think Forest will go down. And I think Everton will go with them at plus Southampton.
Yeah.
That's my 3.
Yeah, Michael, I really appreciate that.
All the best, Mike.
That game, West Ham v Man City, is live on talkSPORT on Wednesday. We'll be taking calls after that on the sports bar as well. Let's go to Phil as a Man United fan. Right, Phil?
Good evening, Phil.
Hello there. Just one thing to say. It's like the game's decided outside the stadium now.
What do you mean?
Every time I see a VAR thing come on match of the day, or I hear VAR decision on your talkSPORT commentaries, I'm just lose interest completely, because it goes outside the stadium and it's like, whatever.
How do you change it though, Phil? Because
imagine the final against Bayern Munich. Imagine someone getting involved in VAR there. It just took all the sting out of the actual occasion.
You can't even celebrate goals now. Imagine Jamie when you play. I know you didn't score many, Jamie, but when you scored goals, you
only scored worldies.
You can't even go and do a Klinsmann nowadays. You look like a right Wally. Goes to VAR, goals being cancelled. Oh, that was a bit of a silly celebration.
Yeah, it is ruining it.
It's a shame. You hear your commentators back on their goal announcements and that. It's just a shame.
Yeah.
Just a shame.
But Phil, what changes? How do you change it? What do you do?
Get rid of VAR.
Yeah, but it ain't gonna. That's not going to happen, Phil.
No, that's it.
I know we can all sit here and say, "Oh, get rid of it," but the game has modernised it. In some ways, VAR, I think, can be good. The offside decisions now, I think, have got better. It's black and white.
Our game's drifting away from us, lads. Another generation will own it in years' time. That's all that matters, isn't it? I suppose.
I don't disagree with you, Phil, to be honest. I think
really
the enjoyment for the fan is being sucked out of football.
Yes. It's going to change as an experience. It's going to be more like an entertainment thing instead of a live drama sort of thing.
Yeah, it's sad when you think about it, but you're absolutely right.
I do like the offside. I feel like the offside's good, but I do feel that some goals that are disallowed because 15, 20 seconds ago someone was fouled and the ref didn't pick it up. I think that's nonsense.
Yeah.
It's like, what? I don't even know what was going on 20 seconds ago.
Exactly.
That's you, Gabs, isn't it?
I know, I would have probably scored less goals now if VAR was around back then, but I just feel sorry for strikers and midfielders who scored these goals. Look at Tielemans' goal against Leeds.
Yeah.
Screamer.
It was offside. It was offside.
I know, but
it's
frustrating.
But it's black and white with the offside decisions. It is black and white. You can see it. You're offside. You're offside. So I don't mind that, because that's kind of you've got that right. But how these decisions are being made in the VAR room, I just can't believe some of them. I really can't.
Very strange,
it's crazy. Let's go to Duncan. He's a Newcastle fan.
Good evening, Duncan.
Duncan?
Hi. I've got a couple of things on VAR, and one is, I think the big thing is, if you're relying on VAR decision to keep your club in the Premier League, then you've got bigger worries than the VAR decision. The second one is in relation to players. You two can't agree whether it's a penalty or not now, so how are players going to do it? And players barely stay within the rules during the match anyway. So, they're taking a dive and rolling around in the pitch, and yet now we want to believe that they're going to get a VAR decision right.
So what if VAR costs Newcastle next season qualifying in the Champions League?
I'm just phoning up.
I'm asking a question.
That's the way it is. It's 38 games over the year. These decisions have habits of coming around. This VAR.
Yeah, but that's what Duncan. That's what it was brought in to stop.
Yes.
We had years and years of that saying, over a 38 game season, it sorts itself out. Well, that's what VAR's come in to stop, and it's not.
And that's where you look and go, technology doesn't solve everything. Sometimes we put a blind faith in technology to solve something that it can't fix.
Okay, Duncan, if you say next season, right, you're in the Champions League and you get knocked out in the knockout stage because of a blunder from VAR, is this how you're going to speak?
You know what? You'd still be good. I'll still be good about it. But you're asking for a magic solution that doesn't exist, because people are fallible, and whatever it comes down to people making decisions, they're going to make mistakes. As I said, you two can't agree on whether that was a penalty today or not.
Well, why don't you have three then? Why don't you have three ex-pros in there who are in the Stockley Park watching all the games, and they have to have a unanimous decision over it? So two of them have to say yes or no.
Yes.
But it comes down to interpretation of rules. Like I say, you two are both ex-pros, and you can't agree today whether that was a penalty or not. So how's putting three in there going to make a difference? That's the fact. It comes down to how you interpret the rules, and I don't know what the solution is, because I agree with you, and I agree with the argument you put to me, and I don't know what the solution is. But you can't. Sometimes I think we're looking for a magic solution from something that doesn't happen, and we can't agree whether that was a penalty or not today. So why did we stop at 3? Why not put 5?
Do you think it was a penalty,
11?
Duncan?
If I'm honest, yeah, I think it was. and I think it's a very close one. And
Duncan,
you're not getting a call then, Duncan, for VAR.
Come on, mate. If that's given against Newcastle and that's on the last day of the season, and you miss out on top 4, are you telling me you're going to go? Yeah, I think it's a penalty. Come on, mate.
But then I'm bringing emotion into it, and that's something different. You know, I mean, I think
bringing reality in, common sense, Duncan. Come on, it's not a penalty. He's already on his way down. He's dived.
It's the contact it puts into it.
It's not enough contact, though, is it, though, Duncan? He hasn't touched him enough for him to go down like that. That's not a penalty.
Yeah.
But that's just common sense.
But that's you asked what my opinion on it was, and that's what it is. And that's. But I'm not an expert who knows the rules. I'm just a fan interpreting it my way. And I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And I do. And you know what? You're not going to pay me £70,000 to sit in the VAR box, because I don't know enough. But that's the issue, and that's the problem. It's what is contact, what isn't contact. It's like what's offside and what's not offside. I've seen people say, he's offside because it's a shoe, by the width of a shoelace. Well, offside's offside, whether it's a shoelace or 2 foot.
I think the offside rule. I think the offside rule is better now.
Yeah,
it's sorted itself.
You
just the line's there. You can't get away from it, and you say, oh, his foot. It's his foot. Oh, he's offside. Then it's just how it is. Duncan, I really appreciate you calling. It's a fantastic call, that, mate. Thanks for phoning in.